Hello students. Today we are going to start our lecture number 2nd of module 3rd of nuclear physics. Okay. Up to the in that previous lecture we started up our module 3rd and in that our first point nuclear reaction. Okay. Means in previous lecture we studied different types of nuclear reaction. There are total 10 types of nuclear reaction. Okay. Now in today's lecture we are going to study the conservation laws of that nuclear reaction, Q value of nuclear reaction and compound nucleus. Now see first point, conservation laws in nuclear reaction. In any nuclear reactions, certain quantities must be conserved. These facts is gives rise to conservation laws given as follows. Means when there is a nuclear reaction is carried out, there should be the some quantities should be conserved. In that first one is conservation of energy. Means what? The target that left hand side of that nuclear reactions and that right hand side of that nuclear reaction, energy of left hand and right hand should be same. That means conservation of energy. See here, the total energy of the products including both mass energy and kinetic energy of the particles plus the energy involved must be equal to the mass energy of the initial ingredient plus the kinetic energy of the bombarding particle. Okay. Means what? The kinetic energy of that product should be equal to the kinetic energy of that incident bombarding particle. Now next one is conservation of momentum. The total linear momentum of the product must be equal to the linear momentum of the bombarding particle. Means similarly, as I explained in above, the linear momentum of the LHS and RHS should be equal. In that, the linear momentum of the product must be equal. Product means RHS side must be equal to the linear momentum of the bombarding particle, means incident particle. As the target nucleus is at rest, there is a angular momentum of that only bombarding particle. Next one, conservation of angular momentum. The total angular momentum I, comprising the vector sum of intrinsic spin angular momentum S and relative orbital angular momentum L of the product, must be equal to the total angular momentum of the initial particle. Means first one is, what is total angular momentum? Total angular momentum is given as by capital I and that is equal to L plus S. In nuclear physics, actually angular momentum is represented by capital I. Whereas in atomic physics, angular momentum, total angular momentum is represented by capital G. Now, as the angular momentum of the product, that is for that product, when that is angular momentum of that product I is equal to L plus S, that angular momentum should be equal to the angular momentum of that initial particle. Next one. Conservation of charge. Total electric charge of the product must be equal to the total electric charge of the initial particle. Okay. Similarly, means charge of the RHS side of that nuclear reaction is equal to the charge of that initial particles, means nucleus, target nucleus and bombarding particle. Conservation of nucleus. It states that the nucleus can neither be created nor be destroyed, so that the number of nucleons minus the number of antinucleons in the universe remains constant. Okay. As we know, when there is a nuclear reaction, and as we know, the number of nucleons is always constant. Okay. For every nucleon, there is an antinucleon. Okay. Conservation of spin. The important conservation law asserts that the spin character of a closed system cannot change. That is, statistics remains the same as that existed before the reaction. Means when there is a reaction, nuclear reaction is carried out in that closed system, the spin of that closed system is always constant before the reaction and after the reaction. Okay. Now conservation of parity. The parity of the system determined by the target nucleons and bombarding particles must be conserved throughout the reaction. Means the parity of that system determined by the target nucleon and bombarding particle must be conserved. Same as I explained. The parity of the RHS side of that nuclear reaction and that bombarding particle should be conserved throughout the reaction. The total parity of the system is product of intrinsic parity of the target nucleus and bombarding nucleus. Means the total parity of the system is nothing but the product of intrinsic parity of the target nucleus and bombarding nucleus, okay, or bombarding particle. Continue. Conservation of isospin. The invariance of the nuclear Hamiltonian functions towards the charge character of the nucleons can be expressed analytically as invariance towards the rotational shifts of the axis in isotopic spin space. Now, isotopic spin space is we studied in our classical mechanics. Okay, actually, what is isospin? That is actually isospin is an one conserved number of that nuclear reaction, and we are going to study that isospin in that our fourth chapter. Okay, in that particle physics. Next point is Q value of nuclear reaction. The conservation of energy and momentum imposes certain restrictions on the reaction. These restrictions are known as kinematics restriction, and this mathematical method is known as kinematics. Means the conservation laws, in that conservation laws, conservation of energy and momentum imposes certain restriction. Means when there is a conservation of energy and momentum, there is some restriction, and that restriction is known as kinematic restriction, and this mathematical method is known as kinematics. Now consider a nuclear reaction given as capital X plus small x is gives capital Y plus Y, where capital X is the target nucleus, small x is the bombarding particle, capital Y is the product nucleus, and small y is product particle. Since the total energy is conserved in a nuclear reaction, when there is a total energy is conserved in that nuclear reaction, therefore we will got mx c square capital M capital X c square plus capital E small x plus small m small x c square. See here, target nucleus is at rest, that's why only rest mass energy is there, and in that bombarding particle, bombarding or incident particle should have kinetic energy Ex plus rest mass energy. Similarly, at the right hand side we wrote here Ey plus myc square. This is the kinetic energy of that product nucleus, and this is the rest mass energy of that product nucleus. Similarly, Ey is the kinetic energy of that product particle, and this is the rest mass energy of that product particle, where mx, capital Mx, small my, capital My are all representing masses of incident particle, target nucleus, product particle, and product nucleus. Let Q be the difference in kinetic energy of the products of the reaction and that of the incident particle. Means what is Q value? Q value is nothing but the difference in the kinetic energy of the product of the reactions and that of the incident particle. Means difference in the kinetic energy. Now we can write as Ey as the target nucleus is at rest, that's why kinetic energy for the target nucleus 0. Means there is a kinetic energy only for that incident particle and that product nucleus and product particle. That's why Q value is equal to E capital Y, that is kinetic energy of the product nucleus, E small y, that is kinetic energy of the product particle, and Ex, that is the kinetic energy of the incident particle. Now from the above equation, that is from this equation, this we can rearrange this equation for finding this. Okay, means we can rearrange ey, what we want, ui plus ey, ey plus ey minus ex. Then we can rearrange, take minus ex this side and plates my c square and small my c square at LHS side. Okay, then we will got this equation. Mx, capital Mx, small mx will be at the LHS only. Only this my and my goes to LHS and ex goes to RHS. Okay, and then we got this equation. Next one, mx plus mx minus my c square is equal to q. Quantity Q is called energy balance of that reaction or Q value of the reaction. If Q is greater than 0, then that nuclear reaction is called or is said to be exergic reactions. And when Q value is less than 0, then this is said to be or this called as endorgic reaction. A reaction cannot take place unless particles small y and capital Y. That's why product particle and product nuclei emerge out with positive kinetic energies, that is E suffix capital Y plus E suffix small y. That addition of that kinetic energy of that product should be greater than or equal to 0. By applying laws of conservation of momentum along the x-axis, means applying the laws of conservation along the x-axis, means this axis. Along with this axis, what is the energy mx vx? For this, what is this component along the x-axis? My vy cos phi. For this, my vy cos theta. Okay. Similarly, for the y-axis, for the incident particle or bombarding particle, vertical component is 0. Only vertical component is 0. Means my vy sin phi and my vy sin theta. Understand, student? Now, solve the above two equation. Now, first one, rearrange this equation for only capital My Vy cos pi. Means, for rearranging, what we got? Capital My Vy cos pi is equal to mx vx minus My Vy cos theta. Okay, and after that, square this term, means square My Vy square cos phi square at the LHS and at the RHS a minus b whole square use, and squaring these two equations, squaring and adding to this equation, we will got this equation. Okay, now, but as we know, what is Ex? Ex is nothing but the kinetic energy of that incident particle. What is Ey? Kinetic energy of that product particle. And what is E capital Y? Kinetic energy of that product nucleus. Now, after the elimination, means in this equation, when we are going to eliminate velocities, then we will got this equation. Means we putting here what is Vx, we putting the value of Vx square, that is 2Ex divided by mx. Similarly, what is value of Vy? We are going to put here Vy, here 1/2 is remain, for Vy square 2Ey divided by my. Similarly, here also Vy square where we can find and put this value of Vx, Vy and V capital Y in this equation. Okay, and after the putting we will got this equation. Now, the solving above equation means, actually what is our Q value? Our Q value is nothing but the E capital Y plus E small y minus Ex. Means first we have to find capital Ey plus E small y. Okay. Now, from this equation, we are going to find plus E capital Y. After that E small y. After that Ex. And put all these three value in Q equation. And after solving and putting values, we will got this Q value equation. Here, by solving above equation, Q value will be E suffix small y in bracket 1 plus small m small y divided by capital M capital Y bracket complete minus ex 1 minus m small x capital M small x minus 2 divided by m capital Y in bracket mx my ax ey raised to half cos theta. Above equation is known as Q equation. It gives desired relation between the energy released and the major quantities in the lab system. Now we know when theta is equal to 90, what is value of cos 90? 0. Then putting the cos 90 value, we will got only this equation. Means only Q is equal to Ey 1 plus My divided by My minus Ex 1 plus Mx divided by Mx. For elastic scattering in which masses are equal, then Q is equal to 0. We know for the elastic scattering Ex is equal to Ey also. Okay, means the energy of that product and the target is also same. That's why. And as we consider masses are also equal, then Q value obviously is 0. Now for inelastic scattering, masses are equal, but that is inelastic scattering. That's why Q value is not equal to 0, and that Q value is equal to minus E star, where E star is the excitation energy imparted to the target nucleus mx. In this way, the Q value plays an important role in the nuclear reaction, in studying nuclear reaction. Now, next point is compound nucleus hypothesis. According to Niels Bohr, the nuclear reaction takes place in two distinct and independent stages. Means Niels Bohr suggested that the nuclear reaction, when nuclear reaction takes place, there is a two distinct stages for that nuclear reaction. First one is the formation of compound nucleus, which survives a relatively long time, and the disintegration of that compound nucleus into product, hence according to Bohr. Now what is the first stage? There is a formation of compound nucleus, and second one is a disintegration of that compound nucleus. Now first one, consider there is a formation of compound nucleus, that is X plus X when the target nucleus and bombarding nucleus, when bombarding particle is incident on the target, there is a formation of compound nucleus. Means incident particle completely captured by a target nucleus gives up its energy to two nucleons, and as the result of the interaction of these nucleons with all others, the energy is quickly distributed among all the nucleons of the target nucleus. The nucleus thus formed is called compound nucleus, which is excited state. Means what happens when that incident particle is incident on the target nucleus completely captures all that nucleons and goes to its excited state. And when that nucleus goes to excited state, we call that nucleus as compound nucleus. And that compound nucleus is in excited state. Okay. Then excitation energy of that compound nucleus is given as this formula, where Ex is the kinetic energy of that incident particle. See here, E star is equal to Ax capital M divided by M plus M Eb, where M capital M is the mass of target nucleus, small m is the mass of incident particle, and Ex is the kinetic energy of the incident particle. Okay, next one, where capital M is the mass of target nucleus, Eb be the binding energy of the particle in the compound nucleus. Now, as we studied, the second mode of nuclear reaction, or second step of nuclear reaction, is disintegration of that compound nucleus. Means when that compound nucleus is disintegrated, that gives two values, y and small y, where capital Y is our product nucleus and small y is product particle. And this is independent, means that disintegration mode is completely independent on the formation of that compound nucleus. Means how that compound nucleus is formed, that disintegration is completely independent on that mode formation. but that disintegration it depends on energy, angular momentum, and parity. Okay, a compound nucleus is once formed can decay in number of different ways. Means when there is a compound nucleus is formed, when the decays happen, that compound nucleus can decay in different ways. First one, it can decay in sodium 27 with emitting alpha particle, magnesium 25 with emitting deuterium, with magnesium 26 with proton, and aluminum 26 plus neutron. Means when it decays in giving that terms. That compound nucleus has lifetime along 10 to the power minus 14 to 10 to the power minus 18 compared to nucleon traverse the nucleus. Means the as the nucleon traverse the nucleus, the compound nucleus has lifetime along 10 to the power minus 14 to 10 to the power minus 18. Okay.